Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Exploring the Unknown, a production by Elements of the Unknown. I am your host, Jason McGray. I am here with my co-host, Dom. If she will talk this time, we'll find out. Are you here?
Hi.
Hi, there we are. And this week, we are going to talk a little bit differently about some stuff because we have brought some guests onto the show with us tonight. We have Mike and Bianca Finlay here. And if you don't know who they are, well, you could say hello, guys.
Oh,
Hello.
we're not going to talk.
We're not going to talk
It was
either.
the first time.
Yes, we're here.
I'm
If
here.
you want to reference who these people are, you can go onto YouTube, go onto Project Fear, and look up their episode at Madison Seminary. And they were on that episode with the Project Fear. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about your experiences there.
Yeah, that's good. Let's do it.
So how did you guys decide to try to get explain the whole situation for everybody out there on how it went down? You obviously had an interest in the paranormal and the interest in Destination Fear,
Yeah.
right?
Fans.
Yes,
Yeah.
for
We were
sure.
big fans of the show.
I think we were wildly disappointed when their show got canceled. And then when
Yeah.
they did this Kickstarter, we were able to get an opportunity to join them.
Which was not the first thought when we saw the Kickstarter because that was crazy.
Mhm.
But of course we felt like, oh my God, this is our show and it's gone and what's going to happen? We have to help them. And yeah, it was like a panic for us for sure. We loved Destination Fear.
Yeah.
It was an incredible thing. It was what we bonded over. We had really rough times, and it was the show that we would fall asleep to because we wouldn't sleep for 10 months because of our son. It was a literal, and I know it's hard even for me to understand. It was literally every day for 10 months not sleeping, which sounds dramatic, but it was true, and it was so torturous that all we'd do is lay there and watch people get scared. It just made us feel better. It was just like, oh, good. I'm glad taking
So I think-
too.
I think with Destination Fear is like we related to them, their sense of humor and whatnot, and we liked what they were doing. So when that opportunity came about, we actually had a call with them to see how does this roll out.
Mhm.
We're interested, but we wanted to have details. So we had a call with them and then we talked and then we were just pretty much decided like, hey, like life's too short.
hmm
We want to do this, let's do it. So we did.
Mhm.
Well,
Yep.
we do have to tell the story of what happened with the phone because we did have a moment. We had the phone call with them, which was like unusual how all of a sudden we got in touch with them really quickly on the phone. But then we looked at each other and said, okay, if this is going to happen, we're going to get a sign from the universe. We really did say that. We let it go for a few, like maybe 10 minutes. We went back upstairs, I remember. And all of a sudden, Bianca's in the kitchen, I'm over in the living room, and maybe 15, 20 feet between us, and we hear yes on one of our phones.
What? Like your phone just...
Our phone said yes. My phone said
Yeah.
yes. Bixby from the
That's
Android
like
system.
the AI
Yeah.
system.
Right.
Yes.
So if anyone knows it, I've never set it up. I don't ever use it. I know it's
Right.
there, but I've never ever had it work on my phone.
I think that's a
So-
key component is we don't use that kind of stuff.
Right.
I've never ever once said you have to activate it by saying Bixby.
Oh.
Right?
Or
Which
or
is
you
Yeah,
have to
weird.
and
press
Yeah.
I've
No, I
never
know. I don't use
seen-
that either.
I've
Maybe
never
there's
set it
a
up.
key language or something that
Yeah.
could have come up, but I mean, we literally were not speaking. It just said yes.
Mhm.
And it was a thing where we said, like, give us a sign, and we all of a
Neat.
sudden instantly thought about that. But let's go a little further back. to where there was sort of a medium interaction that had told our brother-in-law that his deceased wife uh, messed with phones. But when we
Yes.
asked him, he never experienced
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
So in retrospect today, Bianca and I mean, I think you agree too,
Yeah.
that must have been that instance, the time that she messed with the phone, because that was so significant in our life
Mm-hmm.
that it was a meaningful thing. I think it was that kind of like putting the pieces together at the end of the day. It
I
was
can
so
I can get
crazy.
behind that because I mean, as you know, Mike, you and I have had some conversations about like how the universe could possibly work and getting signs and all the deep conversations that we've had in the past little while. So yeah, you guys getting a sign from somewhere, like I totally get that completely. We've had I can't think of an instance right now unless you can, but Dom and I have had like a strong belief in just the universe making that sign and
And just synchronicity, yeah.
yeah,
I can't think of anything
synchronicity is a big
specific.
thing.
That was the big kicker. I think it was like from then we really understood the reality of these synchronicities and how powerful they are, because like they're not, it's the power of a coincidence. And like
Yeah.
I don't think that coincidence is just coincidence. It's
Coincidence.
more of a message or some kind of who knows if it's interference or something like that. But like who knows? That's the coolest thing is we don't have any idea.
But
And
either
we could
way,
speculate all we want. I love that. That's
that was
cool.
our sign.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you have to call him back?
No.
No. So the next day, as I saw, okay, someone like in the morning we had decided, okay, we're gonna do this. Like we're gonna pull the trigger.
Yeah.
This is a once in a lifetime. So I still was a little bit hesitant, and we were like, okay, let's just wait. And then I saw that someone had done it. We saw that there was a number one beside the four, and then
Right.
I got the FOMO, and I just jumped right on,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's it, we're out.
Yeah.
And we did it. We made the deal that it was like we were a one unit, and there would
Yeah.
be, you know, four people.
That makes sense.
So we didn't know that we would have another person joining us on the episode. We had no idea, which turned out to be amazing. She was
Yes.
so incredible, and
Yeah,
she's just
Sonia.
such an incredible friend now. What a crazy thing.
Yeah. And it took a little while once we did contribute to the Kickstarter. It took, I'd say, like a couple of weeks before we heard back, just because they have so much to wrap up,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Gosh.
We weren't the only ones contributing.
Yeah, there was a lot going on with the Kickstarter because even something as small as like they were selling off signed ducks
Yes.
and they were selling tons and tons of those ducks,
Thousands.
right?
That's nuts.
They had
Yeah.
a massive Kickstarter that geared up so much money. They were like, yeah, if we do enough, have enough for 2 road trips.
Yes.
And I don't think we'll get there. If we have enough, we'll do a European road trip. And
Yeah,
I
you can
think
tell they
the
didn't expect
people,
it.
the people surpassed it. Like,
Oh yeah, I think his goal was Dakota's goal was like 30-ish thousand, was it?
It was
And they reached over $300,000.
unreal.
so
It's
talking
unreal the
to
support they got.
them afterwards was incredible, because I know one-on-one with Tanner, he really said um, they didn't even expect to get $1,000
Wow.
That's
in the
crazy.
whole scheme of things. So
Yeah.
like to see how fast it grew, I think even if he said like maybe $1,000 in one day was great,
Mhm.
but to
Yeah.
hit a goal and then surpass it within hours is just incredible. And then they added to the reward system, so they thought I think it was up to 2 seasons at first, and then it went to three, and then it went to like
Overseas.
an overseas, and then it went to 3 or 6 or whatever it
Mhm.
did. But I know that after that, it's endless. So they've generated themselves their show, and
Yeah.
like it's incredible the system they've developed. It's incredible how far they've come. It's crazy
Yeah,
what
they
they've
really
done.
they really showed the power of people as well with YouTube, getting everything kick-started with the GoFundMe and stuff like that and the levels. Um, and now they have the ball rolling so they can do their monetization from YouTube, and now they have the Fear Club and having people buy into that stuff, and they've got a system now where they're able to manage just by keep going and stuff. And now like Dakota just dove in on UFOs.
Yes.
I don't think he would have been able to do that with a network because it would have been too far astray from the formula that they were working on.
Like really, it's just a
Absolutely.
great
Yeah.
demonstration of him being able to develop his documentary skills, which are amazing, by the way. And he's
Right.
really good at that stuff, and he should be doing that more. All of them are good at it, so I think we're going to see a lot of that in the future with them,
I hope so.
which is amazing. Like they're just great people
Yeah.
at the end of the day. What were we saying about Tanner said something to me about, oh, my brain just went to something I wanted to talk about and I completely blanked out. This is what happens.
Yep.
Yeah, you just start thinking about stuff. Yeah, it was great to talk to them in retrospect afterwards too.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
It was a
And then
really
you
cool
guys went
experience.
back to MadCon, and which was at Madison where the
Yes.
episode was shot.
Yep.
And then you guys had an experience with reconnecting with them, correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It was like running into an old friend you haven't seen in a while. It was so nostalgic. That's all I can describe it as, was like them recognizing you, even though you spent a whole weekend with them, so I get, of course they're gonna recognize us, but it was just so cool. It was such a cool thing to even talk about the episode afterwards and kind of have like that debrief, because after that filming with them at the Madison, we're all tired. We went to bed very late. We had to get up early for a flight, so there wasn't a lot of talking. And then we had to just split ways because they had to go one way, we had to go the other. And it was just nice to catch up and talk about that kind of stuff. It was really cool.
No, it was so funny because
Yeah.
yeah, they really acted like we were their buddies,
Yeah.
their other side. Because you could tell it was nerve-wracking for them. They are
Sure,
very
yeah.
normal. They're not very social people, except for Chelsea. She's very social.
Yeah.
But Dakota, I mean,
He's
yeah,
so quiet.
for a guy who has put himself out there so much, he's extremely anxious in social situations, which he talks about a lot.
Mhm.
But I mean, he's just such an incredible dude. And to put himself in these positions, I mean, wow, like it's a lot for someone to put themselves through.
Well,
But they're just so genuine. And when you meet them and they've known you, like they go out of their way to recognize, like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, yeah, and
Yes.
they'll
That's
nurture
cool.
friendships.
Yeah.
And they,
Yeah.
with Adam, I mean, that was a really good example. Adam has taken care of them since the beginning, before Trail of Terror, and he said, like, I will always take care of you, and they've definitely returned the favor to him as well by coming to MadCon, because they
Yeah.
really didn't have to, and they are very busy. You can, you
Mhm.
can imagine. So it was just amazing that they ended up
Just
doing
to
that for
interject,
him.
apologies. For anybody who doesn't know who Adam is the owner of Madison.
yes.
Right, Adam Kimmel. I
Yes.
apologize.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Right.
Some listeners, they're very interested, but they don't know everything.
Right.
And
Right.
we don't, just like we don't know everything.
Yes.
Right.
So we will talk about Adam, but we know who we're talking about.
Yes. Who is Adam?
Just in case you're wondering, Mike is now stripping. There's no camera.
No, and we're in a condo where old people live, so it's very high.
All the apartments around you are
It's
just
almost like
blasting heat.
Florida. Yeah. I think this is a cool spot to sort of say, like, the journey that came after this was the most incredible thing that we never would have imagined.
Yeah. The
So,
most rewarding.
Of
part
course,
of it
and
all.
leading into the Adam, like just meeting this guy, the whole coincidence thing. There was a reason why we went to Madison, and we fell in love with the building, but we fell in love with the owner and his girlfriend and Addie,
Patty.
and just the whole thing. And then the community embraced us, and we
Yeah.
met the owner of the Beal and Jeff Fenn, and oh my God, it's just the doors, like the floodgates opened. You said that
Well,
today.
yes, I did. And I think the highlight for us was honestly meeting you guys.
Oh,
Yes.
It
no, of
that was the
course.
highlight, was like,
Come on.
Yeah,
I
it is.
swear.
It really is. To gain the friendship
Yes.
we've created, it's like you can't make that
No.
up.
We definitely
You
treasure
know.
it for sure.
yeah.
It's incredible. It was very organic. Came out of
It was,
nowhere.
definitely.
We don't
Didn't
even
expect
remember
it.
how it happened.
I have
Oh
the
my God,
story,
tell the
and we can tell the story.
Okay.
So, for all the listeners out there that wonder how we connected, I will tell you. Bianca here sent me a friend request way before you maybe have already filmed. I wasn't sure, but I had just got this random request. I won't go into your daytime job for privacy reasons, but
You can if you want.
I just sometimes I don't like to tell people.
I think the real story is.
I think it adds to
Okay,
it.
so
It does,
so
it
you
does.
by trade are a law clerk.
I'm a courtroom clerk.
A courtroom clerk. So I get this request on Facebook from a courtroom clerk to be my friend, and I have no idea who this person is. But I do have an ex-wife, and I thought for sure my ex-wife was trying to find a way to get papers to me for whatever reason could be. So I was like, I'm not going to add this person. I don't know who this person is. Like law stuff? No, I don't think so. I'm not getting served with papers.
Rightly so.
Not
No.
fooling me.
Nope, not tricking me. So Dom and I are sitting, of course, we've gone through much of the journey you went through, watching Project Fear become what it is, and we were religiously watching episodes, and we had paid attention to the entire Patreon thing and all the different stuff, like the levels of buying in. And we were watching the Madison episode, and I was like, why does that girl look so familiar? She looks so familiar.
But you say that a lot, so I didn't really like. It didn't mean anything to me. I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's
Just
it.
another
Yeah,
person.
So everyone.
Okay, Mister, I know everybody.
And then it hit me, like it clicked. I was like, wait a minute, and I went onto my phone, and I went onto all my friend requests, and I found your profile that had sent me a friend request, and I was like, this is the same person. And I showed Dom, and you're like, yep.
Well, and one of you had pictures of like, because he creeped obviously, and one of you had pictures of like being on Project Fear. I think it was you, Mike.
Probably.
And then he's like, "Oh my, no! Like this is literally them."
Yeah.
Yeah. So I right away accepted the request, which had probably come like 2 months
Months, yeah.
before, 2, 3 months before.
Mhm.
Accepted it.
Yeah,
And
because that
then-
was in the summertime.
It was,
Yeah.
and then I sent you a message right away.
Yeah, I do remember that message.
And then so we connected, and then sending requests, we all connected, and then I hosted a cemetery walk in a local cemetery here for people just like enthusiasts of the paranormal to come together and connect and talk. And you guys, we invited you out. You guys came out, met a whole bunch of people. My co-host Justin was there, and a whole bunch of other people from the community were there, and we just seemed to like click
Yes.
right away. And I can still remember having a conversation with you, Mike, about where we went down that rabbit hole of like the Anunnaki and like all this different stuff about human history and stuff.
Yeah.
And we were like, whoa, what's going on? We're connecting. So
Yeah.
I remember that because honestly, it's like as if it was just you two in the cemetery having a conversation, romancing, and I was just like, I'm
I
Totally.
just
realized
gonna
how
let-
awkward it was
The rest was
for
history.
everyone
For
else
everyone
because I
else.
had the best time. But the thing that stuck with me was the egregore that is God. And
Yes.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You broke my brain,
I
Jason.
think I was there
So,
for that. I
that
think
was
so.
great.
I think I was there
Oh,
for
yeah,
that
I'll never
conversation.
forget
You
that.
were, yeah.
But that was a good, funny pivoting moment where we were like,
Yes.
what the
Yeah.
hell is going on?
And we-
And the whole the sending the face request, I feel like I remember that she said, "Oh, this guy did this Durham paranormal thing, and maybe we can. I don't know. I'll send a face. Oh no, he was an
No.
author, and na. So she just decided, I'll send a face
Let
request.
me jump in. No, that was after we had this conversation of him sending me the message saying like, "Hey, I'm so
But you don't
sorry.
know why you added him at first.
I
is what
have
you said,
no
yeah.
idea why. I
Yeah.
just know I came back from the Madison and I was like, this is my jam. I want to know more."
The only
Like,
thing
I
I
don't
can
just-
think of is that you were trying to look for people local in the genre
Yeah.
and
Right.
just were like, let's
Add
try
in.
to find a way to connect with local enthusiasts of the paranormal in our area and
Right.
see how we can get involved.
Because I feel like you're
Right.
pretty
And I mean,
visible. there.
I count it as a stroke of the universe
Yes.
making it happen
'Cause, I mean,
because
there's so many people you could
there's
stay connected
there's
with.
other
I
people in
know.
Durham. Like, I mean, you could have there's people that we respect in the Durham too, like the Paranormal Seekers. Rachel and her team are
Yeah.
fantastic.
It's true.
They're really great people, and I like let's all go and hang out with them.
No,
Like,
yeah,
you know
no,
what I
for
mean?
sure.
They're
Absolutely.
awesome.
They are.
So, and that the universe could have made you connect with them, and we could have never met, right? But
They probably have more of a following too, like just publicly.
wow.
Wait,
Saying
that's
no,
funny.
it's true.
Wow, you're fired.
Drama for sure.
Maybe easier to find, but like, no, really, because what are the odds? What
I
are
know.
the odds that we would even get in there? The whole thing was international. They opened it up for anybody to be able to get that opportunity, and we didn't even think
Well,
it
that's
was a
what
possibility for us to do that.
That's what
So,
Yeah.
always blows my mind is that knowing it's an international option that you guys bought into.
Mhm.
And for me going, those people live in my town.
Yeah,
What are the
Yeah.
chances of that?
I know.
It's true.
yeah.
It just
I
blows
know.
my mind.
Like,
For such a
Canada,
big
yeah.
show, even
could've
to
been from
think of
anywhere.
how
I
many
know,
people
yeah.
have seen that episode, I don't mean to talk too much about that kind of thing, but like for 600,000 people to have seen your face is a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't know that I can do
very
that.
weird.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking.
Not
I
what
find
we
this
expected.
hard. Nobody can even see my face.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
well,
Yeah,
No, me too. I'm
I'm
sweating
gonna-
bullets for a reason.
I'm gonna say I could have done without the YouTube
Got it.
episode. I don't like that.
Just the experience. was
Just the
enough for you,
experience
yeah.
would have been like
Yeah.
golden for me. Like
Yeah.
add a bonus. They filmed an episode. It's great. I actually can have something that I can cherish
Yeah.
forever too. That's
Yeah.
recorded, but I could have done without being
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Everything
YouTube.
other than the episode was the highlight for us
Yeah.
because all the things we remember were
Yeah.
mostly the things we didn't film
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just our interaction
That's
with them.
true.
Yeah,
that's true.
they are so
Well, yeah, and you
Cool.
said that so much more happened than what made the show.
Yes.
Obviously.
My
Yeah,
God.
like anything
Yes.
else. Like anything
Yeah.
else.
That happened with us too.
Yeah.
When we did Bala Bay Inn, some of our more memorable moments were stuff that we didn't film.
thing that I've
Talking
one of the
to-
coolest things I've ever experienced.
Go ahead.
yeah.
Just the Ouija board thing.
The Ouija board.
Yeah.
The Ouija
The
board
second
session.
session, not the one up in the bedroom. The one we did after hours when we were alone.
Right. So for those that don't know, we did film a second session for Bala Bay Inn. We have not aired it because it has sidetracked us from Bala Bay. We brought a haunted board to Bala, and we ended up having a conversation with something attached to the board.
So it had nothing to do with Bella.
So we had nothing to do with
Unfortunately.
Bala, but we have all the footage, and we have since continued on building off of that session and filming more sessions with the board to kind of build our own subset, almost like document what's going on with the board, the answers we're getting, the different types of experiments we're doing. So yeah, Bala, that was something we filmed, we didn't put out. But I was actually referring to like Cocaine Bear in the bar.
Oh my god.
You want to tell us a
Full
little?
mood. I don't even know how to explain him.
There
So
was
what just happened?
there was a
I'm
guy.
so
Oh,
excited to
So
find out.
there's a guy
Yep.
at Bala Bay.
I don't
There's a
even- like, I couldn't
bar
even begin.
at the
Okay.
hotel, and we're taking a break, and we go down, and we're gonna because they had a band playing. We couldn't film while the band's playing, so we'll wait for the band to finish. We'll go down and have a drink, and it's known by now throughout the hotel that we have two ghost hunters here filming, right? So as soon as we walk in the bar, this guy's like,
Did you see anything? Anything happen yet?
yeah. So, and then he just started talking and talking about all kinds of things. He's seen Bigfoot, he's seen the Anunnaki, he has seen ghosts,
Something
he's
about a computer and programming.
programming
Like
aliens
I was
and
checked out for half that
abductions.
conversation. Like you know when in your brain you're going,
You
please
guys
shut
met
up. Please shut up.
George
Like it was just the
Knapp?
whole time I was like, how
George Knapp was
he
in
was
the bar at
entertaining.
Bala Bay? Oh my gosh.
he was entertaining the conversation with the guy, and I was like,
Why aren't you recording?
why? No, I was like, first of all, he's so good at that. Like I don't even know. I probably would have bursted out laughing if I
Yeah.
had to actually engage in conversation with the guy. But he's just like asking him questions and investigating and invested and just like so like genuine about his words. And I'm like, how can you do this?
Yeah.
Like it is
Can
a
I-
knack everywhere we go.
Can I
The
ask you
weirdos.
why you were asking him questions? Were you just curious?
He seems so genuinely interested in the paranormal, and he specifically stated on more than one occasion that he never has an opportunity to talk to anybody about this stuff because
Oh.
he
People
like
think
people
would think
think
he's
he's
nuts.
nuts.
And
Right.
he's right. He
Right.
should have kept it to himself. But he didn't. He's
This is
totally
Skoka,
he was not
right?
wrong.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of those
But
places.
Yep.
let me
I
do
get it.
tell you that since we have been home from the Bala Band, that gentleman has reached out to the elementary known page
No way.
and asked if we had any further findings in the Bala Bay.
Cool.
I haven't responded to him,
he
but
should be a
he did
guest.
definitely reach out.
Is he an avid listener?
Maybe? Is
Get
he
him
sane?
on
Is he
this
crazy?
show.
We don't
need
know.
to know who he is.
But it circles back around. It's fine. It circles back around to say, why did I continue to?
Yes.
Because he didn't have that outlet, and I wanted to hear the stories.
Right.
I wanted to be entertained by stories. And
He
for
might have
me-
that one
No, but he does
story.
this with everybody too. Like there'll be far out people that you're like, okay, like tinfoil hat people, and he
Right.
just engages
I do.
and seriously, he's genuinely interested, and he's like, because I just want to hear all the stories,
yeah.
and it's entertaining. I just couldn't do it,
9
Right.
out of 10
So-
you
of
know. But it's
those-
really, really entertaining to watch.
As a
you get all the
storyteller,
answers.
Right.
I am a storyteller. And in order to tell you stories, I need to receive entertainment from other people
That
in the
makes
form
sense.
of their stories.
And sometimes
So
it's,
that I can do things
fair.
like this and tell you the story,
Mhm.
whether it's funny or interesting or whatever the case may be.
Absolutely.
course.
That makes sense.
Why
But that
would you
was-
discredit somebody's story for them? Like, what is, even though they might seem crazy. And what I was saying, 9 out of 10 of them will,
Yeah,
but that is
absolutely.
the one,
yeah.
right? I mean, there's a really good example, actually. There was a video or a picture of this guy who clearly looks very homeless and mentally disturbed on a subway. But it turns out he is a very well-known mathematician who solved this insolvable puzzle in Russia, and he was supposed to be given $1 million, and he's like, no, because he is crazy, and he's just decided, no, I don't need money for a living.
Mhm.
He's like crazy, but that's the thing. You might think they're crazy, but they probably are crazy because they saw something in the sky that, like, something
The
pointed at
fact
them.
that he says cocaine bear, and we both know who he's picking.
That's
Okay.
the best part. Because I just picture this big
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
He was a big dude.
Just
Yeah.
But his shirt,
His
Sweater.
his shirt was like a bear on top of a mound of cocaine.
That's what we
And there
call
was
it.
like rainbows in space in the
There
background and
was.
stuff.
100%.
It looked
Not
like,
what I thought.
It was like a sweater
It was
from
like the
Temu or something.
Coca-Cola bear on his sweater with psychedelics in the background in the sky.
On top of a
And
bunch of cocaine.
on top of a pile of cocaine, and it said something about cocaine. Like it
Yeah.
made it clear that was not snow; it was cocaine.
Yeah, that's just merch from the movie Cocaine Bear.
It
That's
complemented
just-
the storytelling very well.
No, and like
That's
it's not
funny.
even just the what he was saying; it's the sweating, it's the rambling, it's the.
Oh man, he was getting so excited. He was
on
making
some stuff.
himself
No,
sweat.
he was on some stuff.
He was
He's
making. He was
cocaine.
sweating the
That's
more
just
he
being
talked.
Normal
on
people would not wear
cocaine.
that shirt.
Because he can
The
finally
sweater.
tell
I wouldn't.
stories.
And that's what he kept saying. Is like, finally get to tell people this. Like, yeah, like I can't believe this.
He
know
kept
what?
he kept going back and being like,
Ugh.
I can't believe I'm having this conversation. Like he was genuinely excited. I don't know if it was the drugs or if it was Jay
It's
or
such
a bit
a
of both,
bad
but
joke, but if he was like a big fat gay man and he was on cocaine, he'd be a cocaine bear. Does anyone get that joke? 'Cause
Yeah,
that'd
I
be so
got the
that's
reference.
what I'm picturing.
well, at first
so
I was like, where is he going?
if it's inappropriate,
It's very
I'm
Toronto of
sorry.
you. It's very Toronto
but I
of you.
just find it hilarious.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
If I
Yeah,
could
I get
circle
it.
back,
Cocaine
we should
bear.
have just told him to write a book. Just to let
I don't
him
even
out
think
loud
he
in a
could have
book.
sat down. Like that guy
No,
was
he could-
just.
You know what? As an
Talking
outlet
everywhere.
in
The book.
hindsight, I'd love to go back to Bala, and if I got a chance, I'd love to just sit down and have a conversation with him on audio and just do like a, you know what, we're going to interview this guy and we're going to talk about all kinds of high strangeness and he can just let it all out.
Yeah.
And there's listeners out there that will identify with the things he's saying. There was stuff he was saying that I picked up on. It's like when he said, ancient times, like the Anunnaki people with the wings, I knew exactly what he was talking about.
Right.
So, and he talked about Sasquatch, he talked about aliens, he talked about ghosts. He covered everything. It was craziness, all the stuff he covered. He was trying to give us advice on where to go and all the different places
That's
to go
true,
see.
yeah. I think he was just overwhelmed by finally being able to have the conversation.
'Cause
Right.
he's
It's like
clearly
and I do get it because it's like you build it all up. Everything is in your head, in your
Yeah.
head, in your head. Finally, you have somebody that you can talk to about that. Like, I mean, half of him is also probably like, well, this is somebody I'm never going to see again. Doesn't matter how crazy I sound.
Yeah.
But he's
You
gone
know?
down the rabbit hole for sure, and like he was
Well, and there
not
was something
able to
about
talk about
computers
it.
and programming and how he had a website or something. I don't know. Like I
Lots
said,
of
like I said,
stuff.
Oh,
I
yeah.
This
checked
guy's
out a
gone through
whole
some
bunch
shit.
because I
Okay.
can't. I don't know.
Something about he
My
invented some kind of
ADHD is not
programming and the
meant
CIA
for
took it
that.
over or something like that.
Oh
Some
Something.
wow.
website, and he was
Oh.
telling us it's like his name or something.
Yeah, and the government took it or something.
Yeah,
I
and
can't
I don't know,
remember.
and it was able to. He was able to control the world with the website and like. And I'm digging. I can't
It was
Well,
out
it might
there.
have been
really
a
remember. It
cocaine
was.
issue at the
See,
time. I
see,
think he
But
was.
see.
aside from
Oh,
Ballet,
cocaine.
getting back to some more adventures with
Sorry.
us,
Yes.
um, what we will do is we will let the listener tune in next week and hear all about our adventures moving forward. After we met, maybe we'll tell them a little bit about the Hinsdale House
Ooh,
weekend.
yes.
So until next week, folks, stay spooky, keep exploring.